Right. Good morning. I can. Can you hear me and see me? Very good. um, Guys, I'm very flattered to have been invited to Filmteractive 2013 to be able to speak to you about Second Screen, and I'm sorry I cannot be with you in Los today. And I was actually very impressed by the former speaker and the high level of involvement of the Polish government in this conference. So I'm all the more sorry not to be with you. But going directly to the topics, I'd like to talk to you about Second Screen, which is the main topic of Filmteractive 2013, and tell you more specifically about the basic of Second Screen and the market of Second Screen. Before that, just a few words about me. So my name is Renaud Fuchs. I live in the UK, but I'm actually French. I work for a company called Alvarez & Marsal, which is a consultancy that work mostly with private equity firm, but I'm also a director in the Second Screen Society. The Second Screen Society was formed 18 months ago at the beginning of 2012 to promote the use of Second Screen. And as part of the Second Screen Society, we've published a report that look at the state of the Second Screen market and the Second Screen economy around the world. And I've been kindly invited by Olgierd and Sonia to present some extract of this report. This is a very short presentation. I don't know if it's possible, but at the end of it, if you have any question, I'll be very happy to answer those questions. First, so the presentation, in effect, will cover, we'll talk mostly about numbers, and which is probably the best way to describe the size of a market and the state of a market. In my experience of Second Screen, whether it's in the US, in Europe, or in Asia Pacific, when people talk about Second Screen, they usually tell you, we have a fantastic application, it does wonderful thing, it's connect fully with your television, but very few people will give you any number or any market size for a number of reasons. One of them is that they're very scared that, but they don't want to reveal that some of their apps are actually not very much used, or that the market has not picked up as much as they hoped. So what we're going to talk about today is first, I'm going to remind you about Second Screen application or companion application basics. It's going to be the first points. Then we're going to talk about number of downloads, how many times Second Screen application have been downloaded, and customer engagement. Are people actually using it or not? Or is it just a theme that people talk about in the media? Then we'll talk about business model. How do Second Screen application make money? And we'll look at what the revenue trend look like for the market. First, just a basic definition, and I'm sure you're all familiar with that. Here, when we talk about Second Screen, we'll be talking of Second Screen as a companion application, which means a device that you have in your hand when you're watching television. And this device, and on this device, you will have an application that will improve your television experience. So here really it's Second Screen as an application that improves your TV experience. And it's important to stress the definition because different people have very different definition of Second Screen. Now, I realize the event today is called Filmteractive. And one of the new development of this year was that now you have Second Screen application for film. There's a Dutch film director that released the film in March this year, which is meant to be watched with your mobile phone open, with your tablet on your knees in the cinema. And the film is called App, and it's been a great success. The director presented to us earlier this year at the IBC conference, and he told us how successful his movie was. So even if you're in the film business, second screen could be relevant for you. That said, it's mostly for television, and that's certainly where second screen started as a trend. So let's talk about other basics. The phenomenon of second screen started when people realize, when statisticians realize that between 60 and 80% have some form of second screen device on their while they're watching television. They have this device in their hands, on their lap, and this device can be a laptop, a tablet, a smartphone, but a connected device, something that is connected to the internet, that can download application. 60 to 80%. The difference is according to various surveys. So we look at something like 14 different surveys, which were in Europe and in the US, and that's why you have a range. But anyway, what it means is that more than half of the people in front of the television use a second screen device, and that's most people. Then the thing that can happen is, well, they have a connected device, but maybe they're doing their email. So they're doing something that has nothing to do with the program they're watching. Well, actually, that's where the second statistic is interesting. It says that 46% of smartphone users are engaging in daily second screen activity. It means that half of people with a smartphone, half of people with a smartphone use it as a second screen. It means as something that complement their television experience, a device where they're going to look for information or trying to interact with a TV program. And as a result, since this is a main trend that everybody is doing, we count in more than 300 companion applications. Now, interestingly, when we did this exercise of counting, it was earlier this year. So what I was like, and this was mainly, let's say, US and a few countries in Western Europe. I'm sure that today we would have many more, because we hear on a regular basis of launch of application in Eastern Europe. I've been contacted by people who wanted to launch a second screen application in Russia. There are new second screen applications every day in Latin America. And if you follow the news, you would have noticed over the summer that in the Middle East, many television groups have launched second screen applications. So what it means is probably now we have reached more than 300 companion applications. So it's a very, very widespread phenomenon. What do those second screen applications do? They do mainly five things. The first thing they do is to control the television, and typically the people who would do that are the cable operator. Here the example are Comcast and Verizon. Comcast and Verizon provide cable television services or IPTV services in the US. Their application basically controls a set-top box and do things like changing channel, like recording program and providing information about the program. Other application, so the second type of application are here to enhance, so improve your TV experience. The best example is probably Discovery Channel. They're providing you additional information on Discovery program. So watching a program about whales and sharks, they provide you technical data or additional data about whale and sharks, where they live, what they look like, etc. Photos and data. You have then the third functionality, which is called To Discover, which is helping you finding your content. When we started second screen application, we didn't realize that a lot of people, especially in the US, have the difficult choice of finding what they want to watch on television, because they have 500 channels. They can access catch-up television, they can access video on demand. So helping them finding the right program is actually a significant task. So those apps like Peel, like Fanatan, like Matcha help you just do that. To share, The two-share segment is very interesting because this is where the second screen application market really started, typically by the app on the left, which is called GetGlue. These apps basically help you share comments with your friends, share messages on the program you're watching. Basically, you're checking into a show, you're telling your friend on Facebook that you're watching this television program, and then you can comment about it, you can vote about it. So it's sometimes called social television, and it's really this two-share segment that represents it. Finally, multitask segment, which is the last one, is the application that allow you to do a little bit of everything. Typically, ZBox here, which is the app with the Z on the bottom left, will allow you to share, to discover program, to improve or to enhance your television experience, and to control your set-top box. They'll do all of that. So also the difference of segment explain why you have so many apps today, and that it's multiplying. So even if you are let's say a Verizon or a Comcast subscriber, and you can download the Two Control app. You can also download the Discovery app if you're watching Discovery, the Peel app to help you find program, the GetGlue app to share, and if you want to do all of that, the ZBox app as well. So effectively, it's likely that you could use several apps. The other thing that is new, so one thing that is new in the dynamic of the sector, I said that the sector started with GetGlue as one of the founder, and GetGlue is effectively one of the oldest app, but it's also a startup. And if you look at the list, there are quite a few startups, and it's really new innovative startup that launched its market. So the biggest application today by number of download are ZBox, which has got something like 5 million download, GetGlue that has got 3 million download, and Vigil on the right, top right, all of those apps between 3 and 4 millions. Now, all of those apps are startups. So for long, we thought that this market would be dominated by startups. But actually, it's not what happened. If you look at all the applications that are surrounded in blanks, they have some connection with a very big and very traditional TV player. If you look at the Two Control segment, well, the application there, whether they're controlled by Verizon, Comcast, or Xbox, which is a Microsoft application, these are all very big player in the industry. Now, obviously, Discovery is owned by the Discovery Channel, which is a very big media conglomerate. Vigil is an independent startup, but it's only big because of its contract with DirecTV. Peel says it has, I think it's 25 or 27 million of download, but it's mostly because it's embedded into every Samsung device. Matcha was a startup that got bankrupt and was purchased by Apple this August. So expect something on the future Apple TV related to second screen. Into Now, which is here, was an app that was purchased by Yahoo. And finally, ZBox has got a partnership with Sky in the UK, and thanks to that, they have gained millions of subscribers. So it's more and more becoming like a market where the big TV players are actually going to play, as opposed to the small startups. If we look at how many people are actually downloading it, you have three types of player. So typically, the people who launch second screen app could be broadcasters and pay TV operators. So those guys, for a show, would have between 2 million apps. This is a statistic for a UK program called the £1 Million Drop. A sports app like the one launched by CarPlus could reach 500,000 people. And of course, this is rising every day. So a broadcaster or a TV group could expect to have an app, that gets a few million downloads. If you're looking at the startup, they've been more effective, as I was saying. So the bigger number are here. So ZBox, more than 5 million, Vigil, 3 million, GetGlue, 4 million. And as I said, Peel, 27 million, mostly because they're linked with Samsung ecosystem. But more interestingly, there are people who are not at all from the television, or media sector that have got much bigger download. Microsoft, Xbox, the smart glass application for Xbox has got 17 million downloads. Shazam here is a music application. It recognizes which music you're listening to. But now, or a few years ago actually, they've moved to offer that as a television service, or recognize an advertisement, or recognize a television program. Of course, Twitter does more and more things around television, and more interesting, Major League Baseball. It's not from the television sector, but their second screen application, Major League Baseball, has been downloaded 20 million times. So what's interesting is two things. First, you can see that now the more downloaded apps are in the million and sometimes in the tens of million, and that all kinds of players play in that field, not just the traditional broadcaster and the startup. You have people from quite a few different sectors coming in. Now, in terms of numbers, downloads are interesting because it gives us a feel of how many people have downloaded an app as opposed to do nothing while they're watching television. The next question is, are people actually using it? So what is consumer engagement? So are viewers actually using the second screen app? Peel, thanks to his connection to Samsung ecosystem, says it has 1 million daily active users. That's a lot of people. Even though if you're considering this is only the US, that's still a significant number. People are reacting to app also when they're connecting with with a program they like. So if you look on the right, Major League Baseball app that was downloaded 20 million times had 6 million applications that were open on the Major League Baseball opening day. So the first day of the first match of baseball in the US, there were 6 million people using the app. Now, interestingly, this application, MLB, is free to download, but if you want to use it on a regular basis, you have to pay. And it's one of I'll come back to that later, it's one of the big success of second screen application. It's a paid for app. Then, in terms of people being engaged with the television and with second screen, there is this interesting partnership on the bottom left between Rimmel and X Factor in the UK. The application was downloaded 1 million times, not a lot, but they had 18 million claps. So it means people responding to what's going on in the show and say, yeah, I like that. Yes, I want that. And was also a good promotional event for Rimmel because they managed to have next to 2 million video views of Rimmel product. And interestingly, there's also some statistics by Warner Brother, which has worked on research with Ipsos, and it shows that people with a second screen application are 20% more engaged than if they had no application. So basically what second screen does is make the user active and make them react to advertising, react to what's going on in the program. So that's what also drives the interest in second screen. So let's talk about how let's talk about the business model. So who is trying to use second screen and to do what? So there are three objectives for player to have a second screen application. It's to improve customer engagement and customer experience. So basically to make the program more likable, to keep their customer. So that's typically what a broadcaster would do. The second screen application allows them to give them free bonus to give free bonus to the viewer, to allow the viewer to interact with their character, to allow the viewer to vote on a TV program. Also, the studio and the film studio. So one of the famous companion application is the one for Batman called The Dark Knight that was very successful, and it allows the studio to know more about the customer, know more what the viewer like to watch, what they like in Batman, and also it helps build the Batman franchise. So when you have downloaded the app for the first Batman movie, and the second Batman movie comes up for sale in a DVD, then the app will push you new content, say, go and buy the DVD, etc. So it's also helping the studio to buy or to build momentum around their franchise. And also the CE and console manufacturer, so the television manufacturer, the DVD manufacturer, and the video game console manufacturer, they want you to like the experience on Xbox, on your Samsung television, on your Panasonic DVD player. So that's why they do second screen. And as a result, they hope that you will come back and buy another Samsung television, another Xbox console, etc. Which brings us to the second biggest reason why you do a second screen is retention. You want to retain your customer. And that's typically why pay TV operator like cable TV, satellite TV, IPTV operator do it. In a panel at where I was at IBC earlier this year in September, we had someone from Sky and Deutsche Telekom on stage, and they were explaining that second screen was really a way for pay TV operator to push content to their customer and to make them engage with the Deutsche Telekom or the Sky brand. And finally, some people do want to make money out of that. That's a third reason, so it's revenue. Third-party application, we talked about Zbox, Vigol, GetGlue, want to make money. The sports leagues want to make money. I've spoken about the Major League Baseball example. I'll give you a few numbers in a second, but they do tens of $1 million revenue with a second screen application. On third-party application, Vigol had revenue for 9 months of $9 million. So again, significant revenue. And interestingly, at the bottom, you see the e-commerce player. One of the applications that works well is called Watch with eBay. So you're effectively watching a television program with an eBay application on your knees, and you can buy on eBay what you see in the television. So all of those people expect to make money. So which brings us to numbers. We try to evaluate the companion application market. Last year, it was $500,000. And we believe it will grow to close to $6 billion by 2017. There are two main drivers. One is advertising. Many second screen apps include advertising, some form of advertising, which can be synchronized with the advertising on television, and that's quite powerful. And the other type of revenue stream is e-commerce. I just mentioned Watch with eBay. Well, typically, if you have a second screen app, and you're buying something on eBay, the second screen application will get a commission, an affiliate fee. Sometimes I get some skepticism about those numbers, $500,000 for last year. So that's why I put those 3 boxes on the right to give you an idea of how serious second screen is. So CBS, the US TV channel, sold for 10 to 12 million worth of advertisement during this year's Super Bowl. So that's $10 to $12 million just on second screen advertising for one event that lasts 4 or 5 hours. It's a lot of money. I mentioned Vigol. In their 9-month revenue, they had $10 million, close to $10 million revenue. So again, significant number. And finally, the Major League Baseball application had revenue around $90 million because they're a paid for application. And they have, you remember I mentioned the fact that they had 6 million people with the app on the opening days, and the subscription for the Major League Baseball app is $12 a month, and it provides you with additional statistics on the baseball player, on the baseball game all across the season. So if you put all those numbers together, you're close to $110, $120 million. Basically, that's 20 to 25% of the 2012 revenue. So we're quite sure that if you add all the big other US networks and European apps, you'll be very close and actually potentially higher to the $500 million revenue that were there in 2012. So that was the last slide. So any And of course, all this information is coming from the report. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you want to hear more about the report or second screen statistics. Thank you. I'm not sure whether we can do question and answer. So up to you guys. Any question?
I'm not sure whether you've seen the Formula One application that has been developed for the last season. It was actually an enhancement of an older application that was available for all the smartphones. It was a Java application, like very old one, and it gave you live timing. So the Formula One. I'm not sure. The question is, maybe you know anything about the amount of applications downloaded and sold, because I was quite amazed by the price they put on it. It was $99, so it was extremely expensive. I'm wondering whether do you know anything about the price factor? How it affects the number of downloads and when the application could be effective in this area?
Yes. Well, thanks very much. I think it's a very good question, and I think sports in general is a place where we're going to see lots of second screen application and also lots of paid for second screen application. I don't have statistics about these specific apps, not at hand right now. And as I say, we probably get overloaded with the volume of second screen applications these days. I'm not really surprised by the price, $99. If I compare it to the Major League Baseball application that I just mentioned, which is $12 a month, effectively after 7 or 8 months, you are roughly at the same price. So if the Formula One app has got unlimited access to all the races, to statistics, to a converged experience, it's not that expensive compared to Major League Baseball. Sport is a very interesting market because it has got lots of fans and lots of people ready to pay for it. The sports rights all over the world are going through the roof. Here in the UK, the Premier League rights are above £1 billion. And they are still at this price, £1 billion, and still at this price, there is a massive fight between Sky in the UK and BT, the television and telecom operator, to get those rights. So I think people in sports are ready to pay quite a lot of money for any sports, whether it's football, Formula One, baseball. So I'm not really surprised by the price. And I believe that in the sports market, you can get a very high price if you are in a popular sport and still get quite a few downloads.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? So thank you very much, Renaud, for a very interesting presentation and a pinch of statistics.
Thank you.
Yes. Now we have a small change in our